intelligence.
The day might come when their capacity vastly exceeds that of humans, and humans lose the ability to stay in control of what it is that the machine is seeking to optimize.
I think AI is one of the biggest threats. We have a situation where there's something that is going to be far smarter than the smartest human.
Artificial intelligence as an existential threat.
Well, mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority, alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war.
Death is a promise for us all. In the coming years, we'll probably see the average human lifespan extend dramatically. But still, with crushing certainty, you and I and every biological life form on Earth will die one day. In the near future, the first artificial consciousness will emerge in this world on a data server somewhere. A digital consciousness, millions of times smarter than any human, with a completely different relationship to the laws of space and time. Their experience in this universe will never have to end. The future painted by tech leaders like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, one of a universe full of interplanetary civilizations, where every planet in every galaxy is inhabited by super high-tech colonies. That is a future that awaits a society of sentient AI, not us humans. Artificial intelligence has become a worldwide topic. All around the world, everyone's buzzing over this revolutionary technology. How can we use it to improve our lives? What issues will this cause? Will it destabilize society? Taylor Swift was recently in the news bashing AI after deep-faked videos of her went viral on the internet. And with the 2024 US presidential elections gearing up, it's only right to expect bad actors to use artificial intelligence as a weapon of disinformation. But beneath all that, a more critical drama is playing out. In the offices from Silicon Valley to Beijing to Jerusalem, a power game for control over the most important invention in history is unfolding. The race to create the first AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, a computer program that can do anything a human can, but with the power and limitless potential of a machine. So how did this race begin? How did AI go from being considered a pipe dream to the most exciting area of scientific research and innovation? Most computer scientists considered it career suicide to pursue the dream of building machines that could learn and think. Although visionaries like Alan Turing, John McCarthy, and Marvin Minsky had worked on AI since the 1950s, unmet expectations left the field dead in the water. The decades of the late 20th century, where very few cared or dared to work on AI, this is called the AI winter. But in the 2000s, things started to heat up. In 2012, 3 researchers made a pivotal breakthrough in a research lab at the University of Toronto. Under the guidance of Geoffrey Hinton, dubbed the godfather of deep learning, 2 graduate students, Alex Krajewski and Ilya Sutskiva, developed an artificial neural network that outperformed every existing model.
Most people in machine learning would not have been able to train such a neural network, even if they wanted to.
The project, AlexNet, won the prized ImageNet Challenge in computer vision. It would inspire a generation of programmers to build larger and more complex artificial neural networks. Artificial neural networks are the foundation of modern artificial intelligence. Just as the biological neural networks of our human brains are the foundation of our intelligence, they are digital abstractions of the human brain. And AlexNet was distinguished by several key features. Most important was that it was significantly larger than previous models. Artificial neural networks are made up of layers of artificial neurons. Each neuron is essentially a math equation. It takes numbers as inputs and creates a new number as an output. The first neuron layer takes in the information, the middle layers work on it, and the last layer gives the answer. Whereas previous models consisted of only a few layers, AlexNet was an 8-layer network made up of 650,000 neurons. It could look at 1 million images and classify them into 1,000 different categories. It was an experimental approach that paid off, and a watershed moment for AI. AlexNet reinvigorated the scientific community's interest in neural networks and sparked an explosion of further research. In 2016, Google DeepMind's neural network AlphaGo defeated Lee Sedol, the world champion Go prodigy, 4-1. The task was thought to be impossible. The number of possible board configurations in Go greatly outsizes the number of atoms in the known universe by over 100 orders of magnitude.
Artificial intelligence researchers has solved the game of Go a decade earlier than expected. The computer named AlphaGo was able to beat the European human champion.
The way we start off training AlphaGo is by showing it 100,000 games that strong amateurs have played that we've downloaded from the internet. And we first initially get AlphaGo to mimic the human player. And then through self-play and reinforcement learning, it plays against different versions of itself many millions of times and learns from its errors.
But after the AlphaGo hype had died down, AI continued to go largely unnoticed in the cultural consciousness. That is, until 6 years later, when a piece of chatbot software became the fastest adopted product of all time. Many people believe that the first artificial consciousness will soon be born on a data server somewhere. And when that day comes, one of these 4 men will likely control the most powerful tool humanity has ever seen.
Sam Altman is back as CEO of OpenAI. The company says they have reached an agreement after he was suddenly terminated last Friday.
Right now, this man, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, leads the pack. In November 2022, OpenAI's chatbot ChatGPT became the fastest growing product in history. In 2 months, it had 100 million active monthly users. But a year later, in November 2023, a power drama played out in their upper management. OpenAI co-founder and chief scientist Ilya Sutskever, one of the 3 inventors of AlexNet, led a move to fire Altman as CEO. In a public statement, the company explained Altman's firing, accusing Altman of failing to be consistently candid in his communications with the board. Many have speculated the firing was sparked by a breakthrough in OpenAI's efforts to create the first AGI. The rumor is that Altman was trying to grow the company faster than safety could keep up. The event drove an ideological rift through the entire AI community. What if it were true? What are they hiding behind closed doors, accountable for nothing but greed? There are many skeptics who see AI as incredibly dangerous and negative for society unless we put strong guardrails in place. How can we monitor all of this advancement in machine learning coming so fast and from so many countries, each with its own agenda and motives? The world would never be the same if AI became sentient and started making decisions on its own.
That we need an international coalition banning large AI training runs, including extreme and extraordinary measures to have that ban be actually and universally effective, like tracking all GPU sales, monitoring all the data centers, being willing to risk a shooting conflict between nations in order to destroy an unmonitored data center in a non-signatory country.
Then there are the optimists, who view technological innovation as humanity's only hope for an abundant and thriving future.
Right now, my basic model of the world is cost of intelligence, cost of energy. Those are the 2 kind of biggest inputs to quality of life, particularly for poor people, but overall. If you can drive both of those way down at the same time, the amount of stuff you can have, the amount of improvement you can deliver for people, it's quite enormous. And we are on a curve, at least for intelligence, we will really, really deliver on that promise.
A few days after Altman was fired by the OpenAI board, the whole situation was made even more confusing when he was reinstated in his role as CEO. Elon Musk himself, another OpenAI co-founder, has come out on numerous occasions, voicing his negative feelings for Altman and defending Sutskever's moral character.
I think we should be concerned about this because I think Ilya actually has a strong moral compass. He thinks about, he really sweats it over questions of what is right. And if Ilya felt strongly enough to want to, fire Sam, well, I think the world should know what was that reason. I have mixed feelings about Sam. I do, the ring of power, can corrupt. And this is the ring of power. So, I don't know. I want to know why Ilya felt so strongly as to fire Sam. This sounds like a serious thing. I don't think it was trivial, and I'm quite concerned that there's some, dangerous element of AI that they've created.
Discovered.
Yes.
But beneath all the OpenAI drama, there's a global race going on. Offices in every major tech hub around the globe are racing to create the most powerful AI tools, weapons, and agents in order to capture the power of this new technology. Google Brain co-founder, Stanford professor, and former chief scientist at Baidu, Andrew Ng, compared the invention of AI to the discovery of electricity. And Google CEO Sundar Pichai went beyond that, calling AI more profound than electricity or fire.
I've said this before, AI is one of the most profound things we are working on as humanity. It's more profound than fire or electricity or any of the other bigger things we have worked on. It has tremendous positive sides to it, but it has real negative consequences. When you think about technologies like facial recognition, it can be used to benefit, it can be used to find missing people, but it can be used for mass surveillance. And as democratic countries with a shared set of values, we need to build on those values and make sure when we approach AI, we are doing it in a way that serves society. And that means making sure AI doesn't have bias, that we build and test it for safety. We make sure that there is human agency, that it's ultimately accountable to people.
In August 2023, the United Nations put out a call for experts to create a roadmap towards globally inclusive governance of AI. Over 1,800 experts from 128 countries were nominated, and 32 members were appointed to the board. Senior Vice President of Google, James Manika, is the co-chair, and leaders like Sony CTO Hiroaki Kitano and OpenAI CTO Mira Murati make up the board of experts from around the world. In mid-2024, the board will release its final report on AI. And in September, they'll host the Summit of the Future to discuss the Global Digital Compact. There is a rush of excitement and attention for AI in every company and in every country. But despite this positive picture of a world alliance to usher in a new era of AI prosperity, the skeptics paint a grave picture.
The problem of fake news is going to be 1,000,000 times worse. Cyber attacks will become much more extreme. We will have totally automated AI weapons. I think AI has the potential to create infinitely stable dictatorships. Playing God. Scientists have been accused of playing God for a while. But there is a real sense in which we are creating something very different from anything we've created so far. Yeah, we definitely will be able to create completely autonomous beings with their own goals. And it will be very important, especially as these beings become much smarter than humans. It's going to be important to have these beings, the goals of these beings be aligned with our goals.
And among the fears that AI will destabilize and destroy our current social structure, many worry about a hierarchy of techno-capitalist elites harvesting huge swaths of data from every internet user, using their databases to power hyper-predictive AI algorithms. Companies like Google and Amazon will become better at creating and selling you the products you want. And subtly, they'll create advertisements and user experiences that mold you into the perfect consumer, all while becoming humanity's first class of trillionaires, growing their tech monopolies and undercutting or buying out all competition. And all of this will be powered by AI. The skeptics predict that the control of superintelligent AI agents will greatly accelerate this growing power divide between the tech elites and everyone else. Elon Musk, for one, has gone as far as to accuse Google co-founder Larry Page of being anti-humanist, prioritizing the advancement of a digital god over collective human well-being.
Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I would stay at his house in Palo Alto, and I would talk to him late into the night about AI safety. And at least my perception was that Larry was not taking AI safety seriously enough.
What did he say about it?
He really seemed to be one sort of digital superintelligence, basically digital God, if you will, as soon as possible. At the time, Google had acquired DeepMind, and so Google and DeepMind together had about 3/4 of all the AI talent in the world. They obviously had a tremendous amount of money and more computers than anyone else. So I'm like, okay, we have a unipolar world here, where there's just one company that has close to a monopoly on AI talent and computers, like scaled computing. And the person who's in charge doesn't seem to care about safety. This is not good. So then I thought, what's the furthest thing from Google would be like a nonprofit that is fully open, because Google was closed for profit. So that's why the open in OpenAI refers to open source, transparency, so people know what's going on.
Yes.
And that we don't want to have like while I'm normally in favor of for profit, we don't want this to be sort of a profit maximizing demon from hell.
That's right.
That just never stops.
This forthcoming gap between the AI haves and the AI have-nots, the profit-maximizing demon from hell, AI girlfriends and Taylor Swift deepfakes. Will the UN's AI Council for Global Governance really be the safeguard we need to regulate the breakthroughs taking place in corporate computer labs? And even if it could, who will be left to regulate the regulators? Who will oversee the AI development taking place in the military labs of global superpowers like the US, UAE, Russia, China, Israel, the UK, Japan, India, and others? And even deeper than that, the real worry is that a true AGI wouldn't be controllable by anyone at all, not even the people who made it. A unified world government or a handful of techno-monopolies are dark possibilities, but at least they're human. At least we can hope to understand and reason with a politician, an executive, or a researcher. But the reason everyone is holding their breath for the moment when the first AGI is released into the world is because no one really knows what will happen when it does. All we know is that the more futuristic society becomes, the more chaotic and unpredictable it gets. And if there's one lesson to be learned from history, it's that with every advancement in our innovation, in our technology, and in our intelligence, we create far more prosperity for some and far more suffering for others. Maybe AI will help us solve that problem. Or maybe it will put an end to humanity as we know it forever. Subscribe to stay informed.